Hey YouTube family, it's Patrice Sunflower here, and in this video I am making a boxed macaroni and cheese from the D Gourmet brand that I got from the local Dollarama store. It is a product of the United States, and I thought I would go through some of the instructions that I'm going to do for making it. So we started with some unsalted butter. I took about a teaspoon of unsalted butter, and then I poured in to a glass about a half cup of milk with a half a cup of water. Any milk of your choice really, or if you just wanted to use water, you could do that. And I've done it kind of the TikTok style where you don't have to cook the pasta first. You actually pour everything into a pan and cook everything on the stove. So you just basically pour the ingredients, which is the pasta. The previous one I did to this was with the name brand, so I wanted to try one that was a little bit cheaper to see if I could notice the difference. And then I added in the cheese, the powdered cheese, to the pan. And keep in mind, I've already turned the pan on to about a 5 or 6 on the electrical stove. And there's the milk and water mixture that I put in right into the frying pan on the stove. And there's my my little spatula, my rubber spatula actually. I like to use that one. I find it great for cooking, especially with eggs and pasta. So just give it a little stir, incorporate all the ingredients. And there's that butter that I mentioned. I had a little bit of difficulty getting it off the spoon, but there it is inside. And already you can see some little bubbles starting to happen on the stove. And yeah, the pasta's getting ready for a little party. Break up all those little bits of the powdered cheese. Previous to this, when I was making it, I mentioned that I was using the store brand. I had used Kraft, I believe, and I wanted to see if making a cheaper one would notice much of a difference. So we're going to see as we make it. There are slight variations, but so far it's not too bad. Basically, the key to this recipe is to keep stirring and stirring and making sure that you keep doing that, because it's going to start to thicken as it cooks. And you definitely don't want to let it burn or leave it alone, or check your email or something. You want to keep focused on that dish there and make it, basically attend to it. Keep giving it a stir. And there, as you can see, it's the process of cooking is starting to make it quite the start of the thickness that I like is starting to appear within the cooking, the incorporation. And just keep incorporating it, giving it a stir, constant stirring. And I sensed it needed a little more milk, so I added about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of milk right in. Just to adjust the variation of the gravy. It's starting to get a bit thick. And there we go, back into circles and 8s and keeping on stirring. And the smell is so good. Like, you can just smell that, cheese smell mixed with the pasta. So it really smells good. And starting to heat up nicely. As you can see, it's already starting to get a bit thicker and more bubbles, so I had to continue to stir and stir. The pasta was definitely absorbing the milk and water mixture because it cooks right within the pan. I really like this method because it produces a really creamy, natural thickened sauce, because you're not boiling the pasta first like the traditional way. So I really do like this TikTok method of doing it. And now I sensed that it probably needed a little salt, so I added a bit of salt. In my case, it was a sea salt. Oh, and the fog came onto the lens, so sorry about that. And a touch more milk just to thin it down a little bit, because it was getting a little bit too thick. Keep stirring and stirring. That's the key. Keep stirring, incorporated. Starting to get a lot thicker, and it's getting to a great consistency. And at that point, I believe the temperature was at about a 5 or 6. At the start of it, I had it close to about 9 or 10, and then I reduced it a bit. Because I used a heavy bottom pan, I was able to control the temperature really well. And there's pretty much the finished piece, just giving it a bit more of a stir. At this point, you could add in some more butter if you wanted, or you could add some sharp cheddar. Easily, you could do that. Add a little bit of pepper if you wanted to add some spice, or even a little more salt. It's up to you, depending on your taste. But it's got a great thickness and really good. I actually had a little taste off camera and it was really good, but it wasn't as good as the Kraft one that I had. The Kraft one had a real pronounced taste. Thank you for watching. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, and thanks again. Toodles.